Stop for a moment and think about your typical morning. You wake up, perhaps have a quick cup of coffee or a small bite to eat, lace up your shoes, and head out for what you hope will be a refreshing walk to help manage your weight, especially around the middle. For so many of us in our 60s, 70s, and beyond, this routine has become a source of quiet frustration. You put in the effort day after day, yet the scale barely moves. Your clothes still feel tight around the waist, and that deep, steady energy you long for seems just out of reach. What if the small choices you make around that walk, when you eat, how you move, and what you do afterward hold the key to finally seeing real change? Not dramatic, exhausting change, but gentle, sustainable shifts that honor how your body works now. I have spent years studying how our metabolism evolves with age, and I want to share with you what the latest understanding reveals. This is not about pushing harder or depriving yourself. It is about working with your body's natural rhythms so that a simple morning walk becomes one of the most effective tools you have for better health. Many people believe that any morning walk burns fat equally well, especially if they skip breakfast. The reality is more nuanced, particularly after 60. Our bodies change. Insulin sensitivity can shift. Mitochondria, the powerhouses in our cells, don't function quite as efficiently, and muscle tissue becomes more protective of its resources. These are normal parts of aging, but they respond beautifully to the right approach. Today, I want to walk you through exactly how to make your empty stomach morning walk, support fat loss, preserve strength, steady blood sugar, and bring back that sense of vitality you remember. Before we go deeper, I invite you to think about your own experience. How old are you right now, and have you tried walking first thing in the morning without eating? What did you notice? More energy, less, or maybe some lightheadedness? Your stories matter because they remind us we are all in this journey together. Feel free to share in the comments. I read them, and they often spark ideas for future conversations. Let's begin with a fundamental truth that surprises many of my patients. Walking in a fasted state, meaning after an overnight period without food, can encourage your body to draw more from stored fat, but only when the conditions are right. Research, including work exploring exercise in a post-absorptive state, shows that when glycogen stores are lower, fat oxidation tends to increase. For adults over 60, this shift matters because our bodies can hold on to glycogen a bit longer as we age. Imagine your body is having two main fuel tanks. One holds quick-burning carbohydrates and glycogen, easy access like kindling for a fire. The other holds stored fat, slower burning but abundant like solid logs. In younger years, the switch between them happens relatively smoothly. After 60, the body prefers to use the kindling first, and can be slower to light the logs. The right fasting window helps empty the kindling tank so your walk taps into those deeper stores, including the visceral fat that sits around your organs and influences inflammation and heart health. Studies suggest that for many older adults, an overnight fast of about 11 to 14 hours creates a favorable environment. If you finish your last meal by 7 p.m. and walk at 7 a.m., you are right in that range. Water, herbal tea, or black coffee are fine. They do not significantly disrupt this process. But if you had a late snack at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock p.m., you might still be running mostly on that quick fuel when you step outside. One patient I worked with, Margaret, a 68-year-old grandmother from Ohio, walked faithfully every morning for over 2 years. She felt consistent but saw almost no change in her midsection. We discovered her evening routine included a bowl of ice cream while watching the news. Shifting her last bite earlier, without changing portion sizes dramatically, allowed her walks to become far more effective. Within 8 weeks, she noticed her pants fitting differently, and she described feeling lighter on her feet. Small timing adjustments like this respect your body's biology rather than fighting it. This leads us to something many overlook: the pace that best supports fat utilization in an aging metabolism. Conventional advice often pushes for faster heart-pounding walks. For fat burning during a fasted walk, a moderate conversational pace frequently works better. At this intensity, where you can speak full sentences but feel your breathing deepen. Your body stays in a zone where fat can be mobilized efficiently. Higher intensities can shift preference back toward carbohydrate burning because fat conversion simply cannot keep up with sudden high demand. Why does this matter more after 60? Our mitochondria experience gradual decline in number and efficiency. Think of them as tiny engines inside each cell. When they are younger and more plentiful, they handle varied demands well. With age, they appreciate steady, sustainable effort. Research on walking speeds in older adults shows that moderate paces can support better body composition changes over time, especially when sustained comfortably. Aim for 20 to 40 minutes at this pace. Going much longer in a fasted state can elevate stress hormones unnecessarily, which may work against muscle preservation, a key concern as sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle, accelerates after 60. I remember Richard, a 72-year-old retired teacher from Florida. He loved brisk power walks, but often felt drained and sore afterward. His pace was pushing his limits, and his body responded by conserving energy in ways that limited fat loss. When we adjusted to a purposeful but conversational rhythm, combined with proper timing, he reported steadier energy throughout the day and gradual but consistent loss of abdominal inches. He could keep up with his grandchildren at the park without feeling wiped out. That is the kind of outcome worth aiming for. Functional strength and daily joy, not just numbers on a scale. Another powerful element is how you prepare your body with hydration. Many of us become less sensitive to thirst signals as we age. Even mild dehydration can reduce fat oxidation and leave you feeling heavy or fatigued during a walk. Drinking about 16 to 20 ounces of room temperature or slightly cool water 20 to 30 minutes before heading out can make a noticeable difference. The body uses energy to bring the water to core temperature, and the volume gently stimulates systems that help mobilize fat. Adding a tiny pinch of high-quality sea salt or electrolyte support can help maintain cellular balance, especially important if you manage blood pressure or take medications that affect sodium. One of my patients, Eleanor, 65, from North Carolina, used to feel dizzy midway through her walks. She avoided salt based on older advice and often started her day mildly dehydrated. Once we introduced mindful pre-walk hydration, her endurance improved dramatically. She went from cutting walks short to enjoying 30 steady minutes, and her energy lasted well into the afternoon. If you tolerate it well, a thin slice of fresh ginger or lemon in the water can add gentle digestive and thermogenic support, but keep it simple. Your body responds best to consistent, moderate habits. Right before you begin walking, consider spending just 3 to 5 minutes on gentle movement to prepare your system. Slow neck rolls, shoulder circles, hip rotations, and light marching in place can increase blood flow, awaken joints, and send signals that help release fatty acids from storage. Older fat cells can have a higher threshold for releasing their contents. These easy dynamic movements act like a polite knock on the door, making the fuel more available once you start walking. Doing this sequence outdoors, where the fresh air and natural light meet your skin, adds another layer. Morning light helps set your circadian rhythm, which in turn supports healthy hormone patterns that influence metabolism. Now, here is where many well-intentioned routines fall short, and where we can create the biggest positive shift. The period immediately after your walk is crucial, especially in a fasted state. During the walk, you encourage fat burning, but your body may also begin breaking down small amounts of muscle protein for energy if the right building blocks are not provided soon after. After 60, we experience what researchers call anabolic resistance. Our muscles need a clearer signal to rebuild. Consuming 25 to 35 grams of high-quality protein within about 30 to 60 minutes after finishing your walk helps shift the balance toward repair and preservation. Excellent choices include whole eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, or a whey-based shake mixed with water. These provide leucine, an amino acid that acts like a key activator for muscle protein synthesis. Pairing it with a small amount of healthy fat, such as a few walnuts or a bit of avocado, can further support the process. Plant-based proteins are wonderful overall, but But in this specific recovery window, animal or dairy sources often trigger a stronger response due to their amino acid profile and digestibility. Helen, a vibrant 74-year-old from Tennessee, came to me feeling discouraged. Her doctor had suggested her expanding waistline and slowing metabolism were just part of aging. She had tried walking but felt she was losing ground. We built a complete approach: consistent 11 to 12 hour overnight fast, moderate pace walks, thoughtful hydration, gentle pre-movement, and reliable post-walk protein. Over several months, she lost inches around her middle, gained noticeable strength, and most importantly, felt hopeful again. Her blood sugar markers improved, her stairs became easier, and she rediscovered the pleasure of gardening without fatigue. At 74, she said she felt more like herself than she had in years. Stories like Helen's remind me why this work matters. It is never too late to give your body the conditions it needs to thrive. Let's expand on why muscle preservation is so central. Every pound of muscle you maintain burns more calories at rest than fat does. Muscle also supports better glucose control, stronger bones through mechanical loading, and overall resilience. When we lose muscle, our resting metabolic rate can decline, making fat storage easier. The combination of fasted walking with proper protein timing helps you burn fat while protecting the metabolic engine that keeps you independent and active. There are additional layers worth considering for even greater benefit. Pairing your walk with natural outdoor light exposure supports melatonin regulation and vitamin D pathways, both important for metabolic health. Breathing intentionally, perhaps focusing on longer exhales, can help manage stress and improve oxygenation. If joint comfort is a concern, choosing softer surfaces like grass or trails when possible reduces impact while still providing the gentle loading your bones appreciate. Consistency over intensity is the guiding principle. Start with 15 to 20 minutes if that feels right and build gradually. Listen to your body. If you feel lightheaded or overly fatigued, a small adjustment like shortening the fast slightly or adding a few nuts the evening before can help while you adapt. Always check with your physician before making changes, especially if you have diabetes, heart conditions, or take medications that affect blood sugar or electrolytes. This information is educational, grounded in available research, but individual needs vary. What happens if you ignore these elements? Many people continue walking in a way that feels productive, but misses the metabolic sweet spot. They might stay in a glycogen-dominant state, experience more hunger later in the day, or slowly lose muscle, which compounds fatigue over time. The good news is that these are highly modifiable factors. Your body retains remarkable adaptability well into your 80s and beyond when given the right support. I want to emphasize the emotional side of this too. Many seniors I work with carry years of messages that their best years for health are behind them. That simply is not true according to what we see in the science and in real lives. Walking with intention becomes more than exercise. It becomes a daily act of self-respect and hope. It is time carved out to move, breathe, notice the world, and invest in the independence you want for decades to come. Playing with grandchildren, traveling, gardening, or simply feeling comfortable in your own skin. As we wrap up, I encourage you to pick one or two ideas to try tomorrow. Perhaps adjust your evening cutoff time and prepare your post-walk protein the night before. Notice how you feel, track your energy, your mood, how your clothes fit, not obsessively, but with gentle curiosity. Over weeks and months, these small choices compound in ways that can genuinely transform how you experience your days. You deserve to feel strong, capable, and full of life. Your body is listening to the signals you send every morning. A thoughtful walk, supported by smart timing and nourishment, is one of the most accessible, low-risk ways to send the right ones. Science continues to affirm that age is not a barrier to improvement when we align with our physiology. All the studies and principles we discussed are based on peer-reviewed work exploring metabolism, exercise, and aging. Links and further reading can be found in the description. Please consult your healthcare provider for personalized advice. If this conversation resonated with you, consider subscribing and turning on notifications so we can keep exploring practical, evidence-informed ways to age with vitality. And please share your age and one thing you plan to try in the comments. Your voice helps build a supportive community where seniors lift each other up with real, applicable knowledge. Thank you for spending this time with me. I am truly grateful to be part of your health journey. Rest well tonight, and I look forward to hearing how your morning walk feels tomorrow. Take care, and remember, it is never too late to walk toward better health.